Hello, welcome. My name is Emma, and this is Self-Growth Uncensored, where I just talk about things that are really on my mind, that I'm learning, that I've learned from, and what I want to learn more about. So if you want to join in, hello and welcome, and I hope that you enjoy this. Today, I want to talk about something that's really been on my mind, as is a lot of things, but this one stuck out especially today. And usually when I just have these ideas, and then I'll text myself my idea so I can make a video about it and come back to it later, which is what I'm doing now. But the whole concept is about expecting yourself to feel something out of a certain scenario, and how that pressure sucks out all of the happiness, all of the joy, and every positive emotion that you could associate with that thing. The first example that comes to mind, so you can really understand what I'm trying to say, is Christmas. Christmas is known as this fantastic, amazing, happy, joyous family holiday, and everyone is so fucking pressured to have the best time and to be happy. But if we force ourselves to be happy or overly excited about something that we're not necessarily truly feeling, it's going to take away any of the joy that was already there, but now with all this pressure coming in, it's even lesser than or not there at all. When I was having really hard mental health issues and it came around Christmas time, it was honestly one of the worst days that I had that week. One, because it was so much stimulation from the family, the gifts, the food, the talking, the conversation, the phone calls, the music, everything was just so much. And previous Christmases, I was comparing this Christmas to all of those. I'm like, okay, well, why don't I wake up and feel this way? I'm expecting myself to feel this way and I'm not. So then I'm super disappointed. By expecting to go into something and feel a certain way about it, you're gonna take out all of the feelings of what's supposed to happen in that experience. If you go to a party, if you meet someone for the first time, going in and hoping, oh my God, I hope they like me, I hope that I'm not too awkward, I hope that we have a good time. I just hope that, we get along real well. You're going to be so in your head, and you're not going to be actually experiencing whatever it is you were meant to experience with that person. So when you leave, you're going to have so many regrets of God damn it, I wish I was just in the moment more so I could actually feel like my authentic self. When we just let go and be you know what, fuck it. I don't care. Just for one day, I'm gonna be giving no shits. I have zero more fucks to give, and I'm just gonna be myself. You feel better than if you were to put this pressure on yourself to feel a certain way. When you stop putting the pressure to be hey, this is how it's supposed to be, this is how I expect it to feel, you're not gonna be as disappointed. By setting up this expectation to feel a way, you are planning a failure, you are planning a disappointment, because 99% of the time, you're not gonna end up feeling that way. Whereas now, after I've had this realization, just with a few scenarios that I go into, I completely let go of any and all expectation because I'm done disappointing myself. For example, if I go into the gym, instead of thinking oh my gosh, I wonder who I'm gonna meet, I wonder if there's gonna be that cute guy there, instead of doing that, because if I go in and those things don't happen, I'm disappointed, my workout isn't as great, I'll just go in and be you know what? I'm doing a workout, and that's it. Nothing more. I'm doing a workout, and that way I'm not disappointed if and when those things don't happen. And funny enough, another good example, I have I have school, obviously. And when I go to school, instead of going in and being like, I wonder if I'm going to meet new people, or I wonder if like people will like me, I wonder if if people are looking at me, instead of thinking that, I'm just like, I'm going to school, I'm going to my math class at this time, I'm going to be doing this, and then right after, I'm going to be doing this. That way, you're not disappointed when all these fantasies in your head of what you think might happen don't happen. Instead, you feel good because what you thought was going to happen in your head did happen. You did go to class and you did do that work, and then blah, blah, blah. And then if something out of the ordinary does happen, like someone stops you and starts a conversation, or you get a phone call from a friend or whatnot, or your teacher forgot to give you homework, you feel like naturally more excited because it was unexpected. You didn't go into it with an expectation, and when it happened as a surprise, then you're like, oh shit, like that's actually really cool, that's really nice. By lowering expectations also, this is a whole nother topic I wanted to touch on. You stop expecting so much from yourself. When I have days, it doesn't even take that long. I feel like a reset doesn't really take that long. If I just spend a couple of days and I do the things that I know I'm supposed to do, like exercise, meditate, take time to read books, get adequate sleep, eat well, call people I love, get that connection, communicate with my parents and my family, and just like all of that stuff, everything that therapy and coaches and podcasts preach about. When I start doing those things, and I am doing it also with the mindset of like stopping being so hard on myself, I stop judging, like projecting those insecurities and judgments onto people in my mind. Like I was having a conversation with my mom the other day, and she was telling me when you're judging other people, or when you're expecting a lot from other people, really that's just because you're judging and you're expecting a lot from yourself. And I was like crying so much because I was like, fuck, she's right. And I felt really guilty about that, because I'm like, I don't want to be like someone who's judging other people. But honestly, it's human nature to compare and judge and I don't know another word for compare. But realizing that, I went in, that was a conversation I had yesterday with her. And then going in today, I realized, like, you know what? Like, if I'm just walking in the streets, like, there are little judgments that are popping up in my head. And I was like, shit, like, I don't want to just go around the world judging a book by its cover. That's not fair to other people, and it's not fair to myself either, because I don't want to have that perspective of humanity. So just by realizing that and having the awareness really helped me today, just to be like, okay, I realized that thought popped up, and like I like judged that person in my head. Maybe I don't need to do that. Maybe I can just be like, and remind myself, you don't need to judge people. Like, everyone has their own things. Everyone has their own issues. Like, everyone's doing their own thing, like, mind your own business. I kind of had to be like, Emma, stick in your own lane, because when you're expecting so much, I was expecting so much of myself and having so many high standards that I couldn't possibly meet, but I was aspiring to like be at them 24/7, which had me thinking, well, like, fuck other people that can't meet my standards either, like, fuck them, like, I don't want them in my life. But by doing that, I'm gonna be cutting off so many potential experiences. Like, not every experience has to be the best of the best and like super high quality and amazing and just like adventurous and like all that good stuff. It doesn't have to, and it shouldn't be, because that's not how life works, you know, like ebbs and flows, ups and downs. And another thing with that is when I had this like realization that I was like being judgmental of other people and being judgmental of myself, that it wasn't me going backwards. And this is another thing I talked to my mom about. I talked to my mom about everything, but it's not me going backwards, because that's how I felt. I was like, okay, I'm like super into self-development, but there comes a point where it can be too much and you're a little too conscious. So if a problem occurs in your life, or like a new way of thinking you became aware about that you weren't aware about before, what I tend to do is go straight to like, oh fuck, like I'm going backwards, like bad mindset equals going backwards, even though it's not like this, it's like that, you know, like I'm just like at a point where I'm a little bit lower, and that's okay, because we live like inside of ourselves. We have seasons, just like, you know, summer, winter, fall, spring, just like there's actual seasons. We also go through seasons, but sometimes they can be shorter, sometimes they can be longer. A season could last for a week, a season could last for 3 years. It really depends on who you are and what you're going through and what you've experienced in the past that will perpetuate or stop you. And then it also depends on like what you learn and what you apply and like all of that stuff. But what I really wanted to, 555 on the clock. I gotta look up what that angel number says. But what I really wanted to say is that by having super high expectations of yourself, you're gonna have super high expectations of others, and that's not always the best thing, because it's gonna end up hurting you, and you're gonna feel like you always have to be your best 100% of the time, and that's just not realistic, because we all have things that we're going through, we all have ebbs and flows, and we are all in our own season. So just by acknowledging that everyone's in their own season, and acknowledging that you are in your own season, and that's okay wherever it's at, has really helped me have some compassion for myself about where I'm at right now and where my mind is at right now. So yeah, that's all I want to share. That's all. And I hope that you enjoyed this. If you'd like, leave me a comment or whatnot. And I'll see you soon.